Like here, everybody parks like a maniac. Yeah. At least I'll be cooler at the coast, so that's cool. Steffi, I'm glad her store's closed. Jessica's the one that needs her store to be back open. I mean, her store is actually needed. Stephanie's junk store was never needed in the first place. You know, not a lot of people. What is up with that guy? He keeps driving around with hazard lights on, like up and down the street. I'm gonna get freaking lost, but this, I think I got one in the back. I'm gonna, wherever I stop, I'm gonna actually deal with that then, that time.
To try to catch up to inflation, instead, we basically say we like to punch inflation in the face. And instead of saying we're going to catch up with inflation, let's say your budget is $8,000 right now, and that's what you need to spend per month. We want to give you $12,000 a month of net income after taxes. So if you have $4,000 or more per month, it's going to take a long time before your $8,000 current budget ends up costing you $12,000 because things cost more in the future. That might be 15 years down the road.
Gotcha.
Then the third way is we provide plans, if it fits into your plan, that has an opportunity for the assets to provide you income increases that are guaranteed for the rest of your life, Jim. So if you use those three things, make sure you reduce your risk, make sure you then have the income significantly above the budget, and have income increases, how does that fight inflation?
Well, it does fight inflation, right? And again, clients don't understand they can actually do this. But you can. But again, going to a firm that is going to just try to accumulate your assets when you're younger is different than going to a firm that actually understands these strategies and can implement them into a retirement plan and show you how these instruments actually work, so that you can understand it. Say, aha, why didn't I know about this stuff before? And how many times have we heard that? Aha, why haven't we heard about this before, right?
Well, people right now can reduce their risk potentially significantly, and they can also potentially significantly increase their income and understand it at the same time.
Well, they don't know about it before because they were in that phase one of just accumulating, and now they're in phase two, which is really kind of new territory, I'm sure, for a lot of people, of just lowering the risk, as you said, and kind of getting these plans in place. So great information, guys. We're here to help. So if you are interested in looking at these plans, these written plans, you want a free consultation, call pound 250 on your cell phone, say the keyword money. That's pound 250, say the keyword money, and we'll get you set up with Dan and Jim. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
In today's world, nothing's simple about your money, and it's getting even more complicated every day. Do you worry that a big loss could crush your plans for retirement? Or to affect your sweet health, relationships, and happiness? You'll have to worry out a large loss because your money could run out. If you worry, you're not being careful. You're being realistic. Since 1929, the stock market suffers an average loss of 39% every 5 years. You know you can't afford to suffer a 39% loss every 5 years and expect to succeed in retirement, right? We can help you reduce your risk and put a customized plan together for you in writing. It's called our Peak Financial Roadmap. And if you've saved $1 million or more for retirement, we're offering it to you for free. There's no obligation or pressure to do business with us. This free Peak Financial Roadmap will focus on helping you reduce your risk to avoid large losses. Generate the dependable income you need to live your best retirement life. Manage costs like taxes and fees. Hedge against inflation and make the best Social Security decisions. You can pay several $1,000s for a plan like this, but we'll provide it to you for free. There's no hidden agenda. We're confident we can help you reduce your risk, help you stop worrying about your money so much. Our clients both have $2 million or more assets saved for retirement. We can work with you as long as you've saved at least $1 million. Dial pound 250 on your cell phone and say the word money. That's pound 250 on your cell phone and say the keyword money. This offer is available right now, so call us today at pound 250 and say the keyword money. This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Rocket Mortgage. I'm Christopher Cruz in Washington. Diesel is now over $5 a gallon in some areas. The national average for a gallon of regular, $4.59. Why so high?
The demand for gas is what is keeping the per gallon cost at the pump way above a year ago. Patrick DeHaan of GasBuddy.com thinks Americans are still anxious to travel, offering an extreme example of supply and demand.
You could have oil be $1 a barrel, and if there's only one refinery in the nation, you could theoretically
approaching
have
a railroad
$10
crossing.
a gallon. And so right now we're kind of in the equation where there's not enough refining capacity to meet demand, so prices have gone up.
The state with the highest prices is California, where drivers are paying an average of $5.81 per gallon, and often more than that. Jennifer Kuiper, CBS News.
An American military plane at Ramstein Air Base in Germany is loaded with almost 72,000 pounds of baby formula and will soon be headed to the U.S. Air Force Lieutenant Colonel Ben Tate.
We've moved vaccines, we moved people during Operation Alex Refuge, 35,000 travelers per year. We've moved a lot of vaccines for Operation Warp Speed. Baby formula, this is probably a new one for us.
CBS's Wendy Gillette says it can't come too soon.
4 babies are hospitalized at the Medical University of South Carolina because of issues related to the baby formula shortage. An Atlanta hospital has also treated children because of the shortage.
I have never seen anything like this.
Dr. Mark Corkins treated a toddler and a preschooler who are hospitalized in Memphis this week.
Becoming dehydrated, you give them IV fluid, you give them
The shortage was largely caused by the shutdown of the nation's largest formula plant in February because of safety concerns.
It's the cousin of smallpox with a weird name. Should we fear monkeypox? We asked CBS News medical contributor Dr. David Agus.
Spread by a rat, and then, goes to humans. And normally it's not that infectious like smallpox is, but it's got a significant mortality rate. There's been 20 cases in the UK. There's a case in Boston. It looks like there's a case here in New York now. So there's probably a new version that is spreading. It does not seem to be a major issue. The smallpox vaccine does protect against it. We stopped using it in the 70s, but there is a supply of it. So I think it's something we're watching.
The U.S. Forest Service has suspended planned burning operations designed to clear out brush and small trees and all national forests. The agency will spend the next 3 months studying the practice to determine if it should continue. The decision was made as hot and dry weather and extreme winds have led to explosive fire behavior across the Southwest. Almost 6,000 firefighters are on the front lines in New Mexico, Texas, Colorado, and California. This is CBS News. Presented by Rocket Mortgage. Whether you're looking to purchase a new home or refinance yours, Rocket Mortgage can help you get there. For home loan solutions that fit your life, Rocket can.
Now your political insights from ABC News. A record-breaking spending bill passage in Congress. Less than 2 weeks for the House and Senate to send a $40 billion Ukraine aid package to the president. He'll sign it as he begins his visit to South Korea today. His first stop, a Samsung Electronics plant, which is the model for a similar operation that will hire American workers soon in Taylor, Texas. President Biden will meet with South Korea's president, then head to Seoul. The nation's pediatricians asking the president to give parents a timeline on when they should expect to see baby formula supplies back to normal. Reporters asking the White House press secretary why the president didn't use the Defense Production Act sooner. She said the White House has been working on the problem for months. Hate crimes rose sharply during the pandemic, which is why the Justice Department is out with new guidance to spot and prevent them. Much of it involves educating police departments to catch problems before they become violent and give cities grants for neighborhood prevention programs. Andy Field, ABC News.
This report is sponsored by Dairy Queen. DQ presents Picture This. You stand before the new signature stack burger menu at DQ. 5 cheeseburgers with 100% real seasoned beef, like the loaded A1 stack burger. And your mouth wonders, where have you been all my life? DQ. Happy tastes good.
There's a new radio station coming to Sacramento. Listen to 107.9 FM on your radio. On the iHeart Radio app. And listen to the new 107.9.
There's a lot of COVID info out there, but not all of it's true. So it's important to remember the facts.
Damn, slow down.
No, it's actually the opposite. Vaccines teach our cells how to fight COVID-19. And just like other vaccines, COVID-19 boosters help keep our immunity strong. Share the facts, not the virus. Find a vaccine near you at myturn.ca.gov. Brought to you by the California Department of Public Health.
No vacation planning is complete without a visit to COVID Clinic. When you think of COVID-19 testing, think COVID Clinic. With multiple locations throughout Sacramento, there's one nearby that can provide
$1 million portfolio. Having an extra $400,000 goes a long way in retirement. Do you have questions about creating dependable retirement income, minimizing losses, slashing your fees in half, cutting taxes, an actual plan? We'll cover all this on our free weekly webinars held Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. and Saturday at 10:30 a.m. Go to www.peakfin.com, that's PEAKFIN.com, and click on our $1 Million Retirement webinar right now. Save your spot.
Investment advisory services are offered through Fiduciary Solutions, LLC, a California registered investment advisor. Insurance products and services are offered through PFFG Insurance Agency, LLC, California Insurance License number 0N14013.
From California to the world. If it's on your mind, it's on Talk 650.
Thanks for staying with us on the show today. We're talking about how to construct a financial plan that addresses the kinds of questions to which you really can't know the answers. These are things that we cannot predict in retirement. And I think, guys, one of the things we certainly cannot predict is healthcare costs. I know from my own experience, my parents have both suffered, major healthcare situations, and so
until we get to Medicare, then Medicare is covered. You pay your Medicare premium out of your Social Security, and you pay maybe a $200 a month supplemental Medicare plan. So it's fairly cheap at that point, but you still could have out-of-pocket costs. It's the out-of-pocket costs that could hurt you. So healthcare costs, in a lot of cases, need to be put into your budget. So the way you handle any type of cost, especially healthcare costs, Jim, is to create a full budget that is the cornerstone of creating a financial plan, because the budget includes what we think we're going to spend for healthcare costs, and then you have your fluff in there that allows us extra money in case the costs get higher.
And Kelly, we all know that healthcare costs, they're going to go up. They're not going to go down. Yeah. And life expectancy likely is going to go up. Other than COVID last year, there was a slight decline, but that's going to go away. So people are living longer, and healthcare is getting better, and it's costing more. So you better have a plan in place that actually lists out what potentially is going to, how this is potentially going to affect your income sources. And if you do that in advance and you have those laid out for 30 years, you have a much better chance of making success in your retirement plan when it comes to healthcare.
Is that pretty consistent? I mean, once you decide your healthcare plan in retirement, is it pretty consistent that you know what you're going to pay a month, even if you get a diagnosis?
Yes, it could go up a little bit, because with Medicare, you're going to buy a supplemental plan, and you have to be able to get it, so you will get it. And it could go up a little bit, but right now it's maybe only a couple $100 a month per individual, and that's great. But as we talked about before, the other thing you do, you plan to make sure you have a lot of cash sitting in the bank, so if you do need it, the money is available to pay for any type of extra cost. Because what if you have the money in the stock market? The stock market goes down 50%. You have a major need for assets. Are you willing to take the money out? Well, you might be forced to, and now you're forced to take a huge loss when you never should have put yourself in that position anyway.
Yeah, exactly. And people don't understand that concept, right? You want to put money in the bank, not because you're going to earn a lot, because we know that, but we see so many people that come in on a daily basis seeking a second opinion, and they have $15,000 in the bank, or $20,000 in the bank, or $30,000, and they have $2 or $3 or $4 million in a portfolio, which is crazy to us because they have no security, they have no safety if these types of emergencies come up. Because if you're drawing down your money out of a market type of investment, and the market goes down, as Dan mentioned a few minutes ago, and you're drawing money at the same time, you won't do it, or if you do it, you're going to lose a lot more money.
No, literally, I had a client come in, $5 million of assets, $20,000 in the bank, didn't know how to invest their assets for income, and they felt poor. And they wondered why in the heck they felt poor. So the first thing I asked them, I said, you have $20,000 in the bank. I actually said, are you crazy?
Yeah.
And they're like, what? They freaked out, like no one ever talked to them like that. I said, are you crazy? And they said, why? I said, you basically save $5 million, you say you feel poor, you have $20,000 in the bank, where do you get your money from? They said, well, when the market's up, we take it out. I said, what do you do right now when the market's down? They said, we don't take it out. I said, so how does your life feel right now that you based your plan on the market? You're letting the market drive your retirement habits.
Yeah, well, they're probably just, stuck in that phase one of their life of trying to make money off their money and not thinking more about their risk. The other thing that, you mentioned a little bit, Jim, is you really cannot prepare for how long you're going to live, obviously. No crystal ball for that. But if someone lives longer, I'm sure they're worried about running out of money.
Well, everybody is. I don't care how much money you have. Everybody's worried about making a financial mistake and running out of money. They're worried about the market going down in retirement. They don't have income from any other source other than Social Security, and they're saying to themselves, what if? We assume when we develop a plan that a client's going to live to 120. That's our assumption right there. Will they? Probably not, but you have to assume that. My grandmother lived to 103 years of age.
Wow.
And if somebody planned for 88 years of age,
Right.
she would have had a devastating future. So we make a plan and we use financial instruments that provide you a guaranteed income stream in some cases that will last your whole lifetime, so that you can be comfortable with a certain amount of your asset base that you know is going to be there forever.
Well, what you're talking about is, Kelly and Jim, is longevity risk and or income risk. And it's what everyone has as their number one fear about retirement planning, their money running out. They have no idea how to use their portfolio to create income when interest rates are so low in banks and bonds. When the stock market's going down, you have a negative rate. How do you take any money at all out of those assets? You can't, or you're going to possibly have a high probability of running out. What if then you can create a portfolio that has less overall risk, meaning less chance of a large loss, and at the same time provides you predictable, guaranteed income? You can now bet that no matter what, you're going to have a certain amount of income, and a certain portion of it's going to last for as long as you live, even if you live, like Jim said, to 120.
Well, if you're listening right now and this resonates with you, give us a call and set up a free consultation. All you have to do is call pound 250 on your cell phone. Say the keyword money. Again, that's pound 250. Say the keyword money. Dan and Jim would love to talk to you. Next we're going to talk about our mailbag questions and hear from some hypothetical situations in retirement. We'll be right back.
In retirement, one of the scariest questions is how to use your assets to create dependable retirement paychecks that will be deposited into your bank account every month for as long as you live. Stock market's extremely volatile. Banks and bonds are paying close to 0%. Real estate is very expensive. And what about inflation? It's pretty simple. You save money for retirement so you can use it for income when you're retired to enhance your lifestyle. No income, no lifestyle. We can help you create dependable retirement paychecks. Paychecks you can count on every month for as long as you live, and put it in a customized written plan just for you. It's called our Peak Financial Roadmap. If you've saved $1 million or more for retirement, we're offering it to you for free. There is no obligation or pressure to do business with us. This free Peak Financial Roadmap will focus on helping you create dependable monthly income you need to live your best retirement life. Reduce your risk to avoid large losses. Manage and understand taxes. Hedge against inflation and make the best security. You can pay several $1,000s for a plan like this, but we will provide it to you for free. There is no hidden agenda. We're confident we can help you create the dependable lifetime income you need to live the retirement of your dreams. Our clients typically have $2 million or more assets saved for retirement, but we can work with you as long as you've saved at least $1 million. Dial pound 250 on your cell phone and say the keyword money. That's pound 250 on your cell phone and say the keyword money. This offer is available right now, so call us today at pound 250 and say the keyword money.
CBS News special report. The cost of a gallon of diesel is now over $5 in some states, and that could have an effect on you, especially if you're planning on moving, says CBS's Errol Barnett.
Gas prices have hit records for 11 consecutive days, but it's the price of diesel, up 75% over last year, that's impacting Marcy Robbins Moving Company in Ohio.
Trucking as an industry is having challenges.
Her drivers have had to change their approach to cut costs.
We've asked them to not use the air conditioning.
Spiraling gas prices are even driving up the cost of pizza.
Most of our delivery distributors are adding a fuel surcharge now to all of our orders.
Armen Tefenkjian trucks in cheese from Wisconsin for his pizzeria in Southern California. Higher shipping costs now reflected on the menu.
So we have to raise the prices to the consumer, so that we can still, make money to pay the bills and everything.
CBS News special report. I'm Christopher Cruz.
Monkeypox arrives in Australia. These are your world headlines from ABC News. This latest case involves a man in his 30s flew from London to Melbourne. Chief Health Officer for Victoria State, Brett Sutton.
We'll be contacting individuals who are close contacts on the flight, so really in the rows, a couple of rows in front and behind, and then people who are on the entire flight. We are just asking to be aware of the symptoms that might occur.
Another suspected case has been identified in New South Wales. Meanwhile, Australians will go to the polls on Saturday following a 6-week campaign focused on pandemic-fueled inflation and climate change. And Sri Lankan authorities have closed schools and asked public officials not to come to work in a desperate move to prepare for an acute fuel shortage that's expected to last days amid the nation's worst economic crisis in decades. I'm Tom Rivers at the ABC News Foreign Desk in London.
Hey retirees and pre-retirees, I'm Dan Ahmed, host of the Peak Financial Radio Show. I'm inviting you to a free financial webinar with current, critical information about your money. Are you worried about the world, COVID, politics, and how they all affect your money? Does the thought of the stock market crashing give you cold sweats at night? Does the 2008 stock market meltdown still haunt you? Want to preserve and protect your money? Did you know reducing risk from 50% down to 10% could potentially save $400,000 in losses on a $1 million portfolio? Having an extra $400,000 goes a long way in retirement. Do you have questions about creating dependable retirement income, minimizing losses, slashing your fees in half, cutting taxes, an actual plan? We'll cover all this on our free weekly webinars held Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. and Saturday at 10:30 a.m. Go to www.peakfin.com, that's PEAKFIN.com, and click on our $1 Million Retirement webinar right now. Save your spot.
Investment advisory services are offered through Fiduciary Solutions, LLC, a California registered investment advisor. Insurance products and services are offered through PFFG Insurance Agency, LLC, California Insurance License number 0N14013.
Here's to the great American settlers. The millions of you who settled for unsatisfying jobs because they pay the bills. Of course, there is something else you could do if you got something to say. Start a podcast with Spreaker from iHeart and unleash your creative freedom. Maybe even earn enough money to one day tell your old boss, hey, I'm no settler, I'm an explorer. Spreaker.com, Spreaker. Hustle on over today.
The new showroom is here at Lexus of Sacramento. Come see what 21st century car buying is all about. Every convenience you need is designed into the new state-of-the-art showroom. The new Lexus of Sacramento facility is uniquely Sacramento. With its beautiful artwork and relaxing setting, you'll feel right at home selecting the new or pre-owned Lexus you've always wanted. Enjoy the same great staff today in their beautiful new facility at their familiar location, 2600 Fulton Avenue. Online at LexusOfSacramento.com.
We all reach tipping points in life. The weight of a low-paying job, unpaid bills, a new family. You can't keep going. That's where My Computer Career can help. In just months, not years, they can help you start a new life as an IT pro, even with no prior experience. Impossible? You learn online from home, and My Computer Career offers lifetime career services to help you find jobs with companies begging for IT pros. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
Hello, this is Joe Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is a firm that practices family law exclusively. We focus on only one area of the law to maximize our strength and effectiveness as advocates for clients that have everything on the line. Their homes, retirement, savings, and most importantly, their children. We're the partner our clients count on. If we can be of help to you, give us a call. Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Sacramento area attorneys. 500 Capitol Mall, Suite 2060, Sacramento, California, 95814.
Thanks for staying with us. Let's get to our hypothetical mailbag questions. First question, guys. I just started a new job, and I'm told that I can roll the 401k at my old company into the 401k at my new company. Should I do this so that I have everything in one place?
Well, it could be easier for them because then they don't have to watch too and just think simpler. But you have also an even greater opportunity, more flexibility, because if you left your employer, no matter how old you are, you can roll your old 401k into your own IRA on a tax-free basis and then invest it any way you want. Have complete freedom of how those dollars can be invested if you want to take a risk. If you don't want to take any risk, if you want to get guaranteed dependable income off of it, it's your choice. Same rules apply if you're 59 and a half or older and you still are working with your employer. So let's say you're 60, you're at your employer, you're not going to retire for 5 years, and you don't like your 401k, you're afraid of the risk, you can actually put a risk mitigation plan together and transfer those 401k assets tax-free into your own IRA, and then we can show you how that would provide you a plan.
And that's key, Dan, because most people don't understand that. As you mentioned, 59 and a half or older, you get to take those assets out of your 401k and deploy them according to how you want that money to work for you in the future.
And at any age, if you've left your service.
Yeah, at any age, obviously, if you left your service. So that's key, because in financial planning, you don't want to wait till 65 when you retire to do your planning. You want to do your planning in advance of retirement, so that those funds that you have, which in many cases is the largest portion of your estate, is your 401k plan between you and your spouse. There are great things you can do with that money so that you can set up your future way in advance of retirement. Also, by doing a plan, you know when you can actually retire, so you're comfortable knowing that, hey, I can retire and I'll have enough money to work for the rest of my life. Because the biggest thing you don't want to do is have a big 401k and go through market turmoil and lose 20 or 30% of that money, Dan.
Well, if you watched your 401k, and let's say you have a 401k still, and you've watched it in the last 3, 4, 5 months, since last November, the market started having some turmoil. If you watched it, and if it's had swings of 5, 10, 15%, which a lot of them have, it shows how much risk you have inside of that plan, a lot. Which means if the market crashes, you're probably going to lose a lot of money. And if you don't want that to happen, then you have to adjust it. If you have left your 401k previously or company previously, you can move that money into something less aggressive. If you're still working and you're 59 and a half or older, you can still move those monies into something less aggressive.
And Dan, you mentioned crash, and people think the market's crashed. The market hasn't crashed yet. We're not even in a bear market with the Dow and the S&P. The Nasdaq's in a bear market. The Dow's down, 14, the S&P's down maybe 15, Nasdaq's down maybe 23%. But the market hasn't crashed yet, so you better be prepared.
Let's look this way. You know, at Disneyland, you have the big, huge roller coasters, then you have the little baby roller coasters.
Yeah.
All we're on right now is a little baby roller coaster.
But it still feels like a roller coaster.
It can very easily transition into the big roller coaster.
And it depends on how weak of a stomach you have.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't even like the rides over at Fairy Tale Town, okay? So I'm one of those, no scam. Okay, here's the next question. I was planning to retire in a few months, but I just got a medical diagnosis with a very high likelihood that I'll only live another 12 to 18 months. Gosh, but it is possible I could live another 20 years. So how do I approach my financial planning with this kind of uncertainty?
Well, Jim, I've worked with clients, and maybe that you can just answer this, but I'm working with clients right now. They came in, really nice people in their 60s, both decided to retire from the medical field. The gentleman, evenings, has a 5 to 6 year life expectancy. He was in the medical field, she's in the medical field, and they both retired. So it's how do you plan? Well, she's going to have most likely a long lifespan. He probably has shorter, but his could be 20 years, even though we think it could be as short as 5. Well, you have to plan first and foremost for the longest of the couple, because you got to make sure that couple won't run out of money. And he was funny because he said, yeah, he goes, I want to make sure we put the best plan together, because I do not want her coming and meeting me in the afterlife and then her being pissed off because we ran out of money.
But you have to think about your spouse in that situation, because you have to make sure she's protected or he's protected, that you don't run out of money or he doesn't run out of money, and the fact that you don't lose a lot of money. And unless you put a plan in place, you'll always worry about that.
Written plan in place. That's what you guys do. Hey, thanks so much for listening to the show today. Great information. And if you want to get a hold of Dan and Jim, they're easy to get a hold of, and you can set up a free consultation today by calling pound 250 on your cell phone. Say the keyword money. That's pound 250. Say the keyword money. Thanks so much for listening. We'll see you next time.
Are you stuck in stage 1 of retirement planning, called asset accumulation, by taking too much risk, hoping for big gains but at risk for large losses, and don't have a plan to create dependable income? This is fine if you're age 40, but not if you're approaching 60 or older. Right now, it's time to transition to stage 2 of retirement planning, called asset preservation and income distribution, to reduce risk and create income. We can help you transition into stage 2 of retirement planning, all in a customized written plan. It's called our Peak Financial Roadmap. And if you've saved $1 million or more for retirement, we're offering it to you for free. There is no obligation or pressure to do business with us. This free Peak Financial Roadmap